there are many roles on set, as you can see, but you'll find that different ones are in different parts of the set. So there'll be some roles that are purely in the office. There are some that might be in a room next to where the filming's going on. And there are some roles where you're on the actual set. So if I start from left to right, on the left you'll find the project manager, the coordinator. So they basically make sure that we're on schedule and that everything's organised for each part of the shoot. And then you also have the script writer, who's obviously written the script in the first place, and the editor that will look after post-production. We'll come back to the second AD in a minute. Then you've got different departments. So we have the camera department, we have the more production department, which is more like directors and ADs, and lots of other departments, which I'll come to in a second. So to begin with, let's discuss the director. Now, the director, although he's been given a script, he obviously makes a lot of the decisions when we're actually filming. So what sort of angles are we going to work with? He discusses that with the director of photography, or also called DOP. Obviously also tells the actors any feedback that he might have on their performances. He basically needs to approve absolutely everything. So he's the big boss on set. Now, he's assisted by his script supervisor. The script supervisor will look after all sorts of things, mainly continuity, check that the actors are saying the correct lines, and making sure that we've got the correct costumes and props and that they match the previous scene, etc. So that's the script supervisor. Now, all of these heads of departments are just here to help the director out. So there's also the sound mixer. Now, the sound mixer looks after sound, but is going to be located in the same area as the director, behind the monitors. Now, that area is called the video village. So the person who looks after the video village is the third AC, so the third camera assistant, also called camera trainee. And that's basically their job, is to move the monitors around so that they're always relatively near to the set, and so that all these people can check what's going on. There's also the art director, that's the boss of the props people. So they'll check that the set looks good, that the cables look nice, etc. The producer will sometimes come on set to check how it's all going. So Video Village also tends to have another section to it for hair, makeup, costume and props, so they can check on what's going on. Props don't necessarily actually stay behind the monitor, but they kind of float. They're sometimes on set and sometimes behind the monitors. And we also have some other floaty roles, like the DIT and the runner. So the runner basically looks after anything that needs doing, because if everyone's busy, someone needs to do it. So that's what the runner's for. So it might be making sure that there's a red light on outside so that people know that we're filming, that sort of thing. And the DIT will basically be making sure that all the footage is being backed up as we go along. And it is possible in certain shoots that they do more, like maybe starting to do colour correction, that sort of thing. It really depends on the shoot. So now the director, he sits behind his monitor, yes, but he uses the first AD as his voice on set. So the first AD basically makes sure that everything is moving at a good pace and that everybody has what they need at the correct time. So they're kind of the coordinator on the day, and as I said, the voice. So they will give instructions to their third AD that will look after background artists. So any movement in the back where you see people but that aren't the main characters, there are extras. And they will make sure that they are running the rehearsals, and also the first AD will coordinate with the camera team. Now in the camera team, the head of the camera team is the director of photography, that is the head of both lighting and camera. So within just camera, you then have the camera operator, Camera operator is in charge of just the framing mostly, and the person assisting with the framing is the grip. The grip is the person that'll help with the camera move, so if we're using dollies or any other tricky pieces of equipment. Now the camera operator also is assisted by the focus puller. Focus puller, as per the name, will make sure that the shots are in focus. Focus puller's assistant is the second AC that looks after the clapperboard and all of the marks, the batteries, will bring the lenses, that sort of thing. Now, the director of photography I mentioned also looks after the lighting. Within lighting, we have the gaffer. So the director of photography will say, okay, I want this sort of lighting in this sort of area. And then the gaffer will then do the logistics of that and decide exactly which light, where, how, etc. So they will use the sparks to actually put the lights up for them. There can be multiple sparks. So the actors also have the hair makeup artists and costume people there to help them. So they will go see them prior to the shoot to get all set up, but also they will have them get involved for what we call final checks just before we film. So why do they need to be watching a screen? Well, if the hair suddenly comes undone, then it's the hair people that it's their job to actually go in on set and fix that. So that is all of those roles, and of course there can be more. I've tried to simplify it to be able to explain it today.